Okay, we're going to do future value now, and they're used for two things called future value annuities and sinking funds. And we're kind of looking at the future value of monthly payments. And anyways, you go to a bank and you make payments every month, and it collects interest and it turns into lots of money. And it's all about it's actually a geometric series. Now, this is the formula they give you on the sheet in your formula sheet, and it's pretty standard for financial math because the I stands for interest, the N stands for the number of years. If it's monthly, you know to divide by 12 and to multiply this by 12. But this X here, those are your payments. If you make payments of 500 Rand, that's it. That's where you put the 500 Rand. But in our notes, we do a good job of, I think, explaining why it is. It's really a geometric series, a geometric thing that you're adding up. And the first payment is your first term. So you start in the beginning, except the way this formula is set up is your first term starts at the end of the month. There's your first term, X, and then you make another payment of X and another payment of X. But this deposit will grow because it goes up to T 3 years. There's TN. That's the number of years it will grow. This deposit will grow by just not quite N because it doesn't get the first month's interest. So it gets N minus 1 years of interest. This last payment will only get one interest payment, And if you put that first, and the last payment gets no interest at all, you just make the payment and then you make your collection. There's no time for any interest in the end. If it's at the end of the month, and if it was like 24 months, that'd be 24. And let's look at, so you'd have X with no payment, and then 1 plus I, you just have one interest there. This guy would be getting the N minus 1. The next guy would get N minus 2, and so forth and so forth. Gee, this looks like a geometric series. Let's see this thing. In fact, it is a geometric series where XA is your first term. R is 1 plus I. That's the interest rate. That's your R. And so R to the N minus 1, it must be 1 plus I to the nth power minus 1. And on the bottom, you've got R minus 1, but something nice happens. 1 minus 1 cancels, and you only have I. And that's your future value formula. It tells you the money you'd have by making payments every month, and you make a payment starting at the end of the first month. That's why the formulas are all based on that. So you can look at this kind of carefully. It sort of explains, gee, this is just a geometric series. And take a look at this thing really carefully yourself and go over it and try and make sense of it. Hey, this guy at the very end gets no interest. This gets 1 plus I interest. The next guy gets 2 months of interest and then 3, all the way down to this guy who just gets N minus 1. And then just do it as a geometric series, and you'll get the formula right there, geometric series. Well, I hope that kind of explains it. I did it in another video with a lot of steps, but I think these notes and those ideas there are all you need. There's the future value formula right there.